Greetings, everybody. How are you today? Look at me, surrounded by sun again. What a December to remember. Okay, I'm Patricia Cori. I'm coming to you live from the Azores, and this is a very particular moment of Zen. Self-realization, commitment, call it as you will. I've come to you today to announce that I'm going to do everything possible from this day forward to avoid, avoid the perpetualization, if there is such a word, of negative information. I've come to the realization in this moment in my beautiful life that this is a really deterring from joy, from the beauty and wonder that I create in my life and that I'm gifted with receiving back from the universe. And looking back over the years of Facebook and all the bickering and fear-mongering and just bad news, of which I certainly have contributed with my opinions on things like vaccination and politics and the one world order, and don't even get me started on big pharma and child abuse and trafficking and animal abuse, and oh, for God's sakes, it's just too much. So I wake up in the morning, I'm full of resolve, I've got things to do, places to, well, I don't have that many places to go because I live on an island with a limited amount of activity, but filled with peace. And then I start with Facebook or whatever social media involves me, and I find suddenly I'm like, oh God, how can people, the current going theme is, how can people be so cruel? Or people are completely insane. And again, you know, who doesn't subscribe to that when you read so much utter misdirection of the human experience? There are some really sick people out there doing horrific things. I am going into 2020 focusing, as I've tried to do in balance over the time I've been coming to you, on the positive things, the extraordinary things. Because if we don't get back to celebrating what it means to be human, really celebrating the wonders of being human and all of the innovation and contributions that good people are making to try to make this a better world, then we're lost. Just lost. So you will note, and I hope I can stick to it because it's enticing to talk about all this debate-filled information. Who hasn't? I'm not pointing fingers here. Who hasn't contributed to the warring about Greta and Trump and all of these inane subjects that in the end keep us tethered to this opinion battle? Some people are dug in so much, their heels are dug into their positions so much that they hate. And how many people have I deleted from my collection of so-called friends because the rhetoric turns to hate against anyone who dares to oppose their opinion? I don't want to live my life like that. I don't choose to be around people like that. And I've decided not to let it filter in anymore through social media. So I'm not saying I'm leaving, but I am screening more, and I am being more aware of what I choose to discuss. I don't really care. I don't care. Do you really care who the president is or will be? They're all part of an agenda. Maybe some have, you know, a higher scruple or less. Maybe some are more simpatico or more. But in the end, you know, these politicians are in because they bow down to the great master. And we've got to get that in our heads. We've got to get past this idea that the person in the seat matters. They don't matter. And if you don't believe that, just look over, exception of John Kennedy, look over the collection of people who have been in that presidential seat and how they come in with all the rhetoric about all the good they're going to do. And then 2 days later, all of a sudden, once they have the meeting in the White House, they change their tune. And so we're wasting our energy, our beautiful energy. We've got more important things to think about. First is how we celebrate life for what it is. We came here with a purpose, didn't we? We came here, if anything I've contributed to the civilization and my immediate society matters, one of these themes is that we chose to come in here. We chose it. And when I hear people talking about wanting to get off the planet, it's like, well, gee, you're going to have to go do this again then, because you chose to do this for some reason you had in your mind. Some good you wanted to create, some lesson you wanted to learn. And leaving it means you're going to have to go do it somewhere else. So let's just get it done now. But I choose to be filled with the wonder, not the controversy anymore. And this is a huge change in position, because you all know for 20 years of books, I have been in the foreground of one of the conspiracy theory newcomers, if you would, back in the 20 years ago, when I was joined with people like David Icke and others, bringing forward information that was heretical at the time and now has come to the foreground. And here we are still bickering about it. I mean, the plan is unfolding. The one world order is completely unfolding as they intend. And the only way that we can live with this and survive it and change it is to focus on our power, our wisdom, and our ability to celebrate life. Because the darkness, feeds on fear, it feeds on pain, it feeds on powerlessness. It sucks up all that negative energy and gets bigger. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but maybe emphasizing it right now in this video about my resolution to be dedicated from this day forward, as best I can, to positive, powerful energy and thoughts about light and how we can permeate that darkness with light. I've still got my lightsaber up and running. I just refuse to be part anymore of the bantering, of the volleyballing, of all this negative stuff. I don't want to hear about tortured animals, you know that. I want to hear about animals that are being saved, about animals that are teaching humans how to love, because we see some of that, a lot of that, more and more. How humans are helping humans, people who are really doing good for this earth, not just a bunch of PR bullshit that's being put out there as a salve for humans, as a distraction for humans. I want to see the beauty. I want to see the goodness, and I want to bring that forward. And I'm certainly going to bring it forward into 2020. This is an opportunity. Don't miss this. 2020 vision is my logo, my slogan. Not that it's my personal one, but I hold it dear. And I'm going to enter this new decade with so much force and strength and light and positive emotion. I refuse to talk anymore about all these things. I'm going to tighten up the Facebook page so that a lot less of it can filter in. And please don't be offended if that's what you're into, by God, by all means, you have every right. But you might find I unfriend because I don't want to hear it. It's not a personal thing, this unfriending. I just must screen it out, because there's also a fact that I'm 60, 67, almost 68. And I call this the third trimester of my life. And I've been doing this political debate, the exposing the darkness, and I've been doing it all my life, trying to make a difference. And now I feel like, well, I've done what I can as far as exposing all this. The time of exposing it all is kind of over, isn't it? We either know it or we don't. We either get it or we don't. And guess what? A lot of people don't get it. So they're going to still fight and scream and name call about political candidates. And you look at the entire world. Just take a look at the entire picture. The corruption across the board, all political systems. I don't think there is any political system that isn't rife with corruption, in homage to the big pharma, big corporate military structure on the planet. And yet we are wasting our energy, giving them our energy, debating who's going to come along and change it. No, this is going to, when he comes in, it's going to be fixed. When we have a woman in the seat, then everything will change. No, it won't. One person in a seat, like a presidency, and I'm not just talking about the US, any seat of power, doesn't change anything. Look at the debate going on in the Congress in America, the sham of it. It's the disruption and the breakdown of what people believed was the Constitution for freedom. It's history. You have no freedom. As George Carlin said, it's a big club and you're not in it. You are not in it, and they don't give a damn about you. Well, he used another word. They don't care about you. Forget the rhetoric. They don't care about you. They care about their big corporate sponsors and their big pharma bosses and all of the systems that are put in place to control humanity. That's what they care about. And everything else is a sham. So why are you paying homage to it? Why are you letting yourself get your knickers in a twist over it? Why are you losing your peace and joy and celebration of life over these things that you have no effect over? And you think you do because you vote. They alter the votes. Do we have to remember George Bush and your one? Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Oh my God. See, this is a senior moment. Can't remember the name of the guy at Gore, who was completely robbed of that presidency with the technicality of the dog-eared ballots, yada yada. Anyway, this is my message of love to you. And thank you for all the love I get back. Boy, am I so grateful. I really, really am. And I hope you feel mine pouring out to you. I'm dedicating the life of Patricia Cori from this day forward to more joy, more shielding against this negative force, and less involvement in the daily, hourly, minute by minute war. Excuse me. Girls, I'm talking over here. My girls always get activated when I'm doing a video. It's a trip. Good girl, Carmen. Yeah, forgot what I was saying. I'm dedicating to escaping a lot of this stuff. So like I said, if you find I unfriend you, it's not personal at all. And it's really about, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about dogs being thrown out windows of cars and people torturing animals and each other and children being abducted. We know it now. It's time to do something with the information rather than just regurgitate it and perpetuate the despair and the fear and the horror of all of this stuff. Okay, so look to my page now for positive. I try to always be positive, but the deletion of the debate of all these things. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm not going to allow it anymore in my realm, because 2020 vision for Patricia Cori means putting in place the rest of my life, the third trimester of my life. And that means I am propelling myself into the film industry, trying to make movies that matter, that touch lives, that bring joy and reflection and hope. And God, I show you all the time pictures of this beautiful place I live in, this island. I never stop being filled with wonder of the beauty. But you know what? People say I'm so lucky. No, it's not about luck. It's about making choices that really matter, that are going to put you in a position where you are able to focus on beauty. Who doesn't have horror and pain in their life? The choice is, where's your focus? And I know I've said these things before, but bear with me. I'm kind of on a soul purging mission here to emphasize it once again. You have to want to find beauty. It's not luck. You have to choose it. Make very tough decisions. And I've made a lot of those time ago to be able to be here. But every day is still a challenge. Every day is still a choice. And my choice for this new decade is to focus on power, the deep power, the real power, health. 68 in January, you always have to worry about that. Or at least I rephrase it, you always have to consider and think about that and work on it. And happiness. People say to me all the time, yeah, Patricia, happiness is an unrealistic goal. I'm like, not for Patricia Cori. Happiness is my goal. Humor is a vehicle for reaching that. And so is setting intentions that some of them come to fruition and some of them don't. But always the intention to do as much good as I possibly can, to live as heartily as I can, filled with laughter and love and peace. So this is my message to you at this moment. I hope I don't get sucked back down into the regurgitation of, really Facebook, the news, all of it is just a perpetuating horror story where mostly we are perpetuating negativity and hopelessness, and I won't have it. No more. Okay, guys, I think by now I've made my point, and I don't like to soapbox, even though you can't help it when you're doing a soliloquy into a TV screen, a computer screen. But thank you for being there always, and thank you for listening and for loving me and for supporting me. And know that you'll see a little bit of a shift in my tolerance level. Oh, and needless to say, I've been screaming about political correctness. And here I am, and uncensored information. And here I am saying I'm going to censor. So I don't mean to be a hypocrite. I just want to block it out. Go ahead, and if that's what you're into, go for it. I just want to block it out, shield myself. So I hope that you don't consider that censoring, and in doing that, being hypocritical. But I am going to censor myself, and from the point of view of not allowing myself to be mesmerized or involved with the perpetuation of negativity, of which we have, I don't want to say very little ability to. I'm not going to say that. You get my drift. If you can change it, damn it, change it. Make a difference. And, for these years, I've been doing petitions and screaming about stuff and appealing to people. I wonder. Now I'm going to appeal to you through beauty, like showing you the sunrise and sunset almost every day from my gorgeous world, and bringing forward that beauty and hopefully instilling that sense of wonder of this beautiful planet. Don't give up on planet Earth. Okay, guys, I love you a lot, and I will be posting. Well, I don't have a beautiful sunset today. We got gray, but there will be more and more and more of beauty and celebration, and less and less of the, you know, the stuff that fills us with dread. I don't want it anymore. And I hope you don't too. Come on, man. It's a new decade. This has not been an easy time. And to be honest, it hasn't been a very positive time. Yeah, sure. We have wonderful developments in certain areas, but we've been sucked down a lot. And it is time for us to rise up greater, stronger, with the knowledge that we have. How do we transform that now? How do we transform that into power? Because if all we're doing is running the tape of how horrible everything is, we lose. And I'm not going to lose to the darkness. Not going to happen. Take care. I love you. Talk to you soon.